welcome to this terrifyingly creepy episode of the WiiTalk podcast, the podcast where we are coming to get you.
Wow.
I am your ghost, Niall Edwards, and I am joined as always by my co-ghost, Curtis Russell.
Curtis Russell. I've
here. Been preparing that for a month. This is the worst podcast. And also, every episode is someone's first episode. Mm-hmm. So if this is your first introduction to the podcast, this is the 7th episode of the WiiTalk podcast, the podcast where we talk about games.
And this is only the 6th time it's been weird.
Yes. The only time it wasn't weird is when Curtis did the intro. So last month I forgot it. So
that was
my
funny.
goal is to just do a different intro every month.
Well, because I brought it in. I remember I brought it in, and you were drinking water like we weren't doing the intro already.
Yeah. Because you started the intro, and I was like, okay, I can just take a quick sip of water, and you just said, and I'm joined by my co-host Niall Edwards, and I just had like a big mouth of water, and I just didn't know what to do. So then I froze. So I didn't even swallow the water because I was just stuck there thinking, what do I do now? Just I had to edit it down because for 6 seconds it was just silence whilst I tried to think, do I spit out the water? Do I just I didn't know what to do.
Just spit out the water. My goodness.
Yeah, well that would have ruined my mic.
So we're recording this on Halloween. I don't know. It might go up later in November.
It'll probably end up going up tonight. I'm trying to do a no editing run. So if this turns out to be a bit more PG-13 because we can't edit things out, that's why. But this is a very spooky Halloween app. We've got some spooky topics coming up, and then also just some normal stuff. I would check that window that's just by you right now, though. If you're listening to this, I've just gotten a message from someone saying that you should check that window. Just right there. Shit. Oh my god. I just heard a big bang on the wall as I was talking about that.
Are you serious?
Oh my god. Yeah, genuinely. I think it was just my mom going into the next room, but genuinely that really freaked me out. Jesus.
Oh my god.
It wasn't a funny joke. I was making a joke that wasn't funny, and then I just hear boom, and I was like, oh my god.
If you guys, this is your first episode, this is just Niall. I'm just chilling, and he's just freaking out half the time.
Yeah, well, it's like the dead of night almost. It's gone pitch black because we've also changed our daylight saving times now, so it's night. It's dark at quite early now.
Right. Yeah, we haven't
really
done this in
this moment.
We haven't done that in the States yet. We haven't changed our clocks yet. We're always late to the party as usual.
So should we get into the episode?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is last month we touched a little bit on the Switch Lite. We recorded it on the 20th of September, which was the day that both Link's Awakening and the Switch Lite came out. I hadn't had chance to get it yet, but just a few short hours after I uploaded that episode, I wiggled my way down to my local game store, and I know it wasn't a game, it was an Argos, and I bought myself one turquoise Switch Lite.
Yeah.
Now, so I'm going to be the Switch Lite correspondent for this podcast. I'll talk about it a bit every month. But I'm really enjoying it because a week after I got it, I had a 7 to 8 hour car trip to Scotland. So it was the perfect time to test it out. And the battery life's good. I didn't have to worry about the battery at all. And I was playing Breath of the Wild for most of the way. So that's a very demanding game. And the battery was pretty much fine the whole way through. Because what my goal with it is to keep my normal Switch docked at home always and use my Switch Lite as just a purely portable Switch.
Right.
So I wanted to have the same save data on both of them at all times. This cannot be done if you don't have Switch Online. And I actually didn't have Switch Online because I didn't really play any Switch Online games. So the only one was Splatoon, but I can play Octo expansion and the story mode whenever I want to play it. So I had to get Switch Online to do this, which I'm not too mad about because it's cheap. And on the same day, I bought Tetris 99 Physical Edition, which came with 12 months of Nintendo Switch.
They did a physical edition of that?
Yeah, it came out the same day as the Switch Lite here in the UK, and I think it came out a little bit earlier in the States.
That's a good game to have on the Switch Lite. That's a good game.
Yeah, well, I played a lot of that on the way up to Scotland as well.
Nice.
But it's definitely, if you want to have it as a seamless experience between both of them, that's not both your Switches. It's not really going to happen because what you have to do is every time. So when you're playing a game, it will automatically upload your save data to the cloud.
Yeah.
Now you can't just go onto the other Switch and start playing. You have to go into the settings for the game, and like download the save data file, which can take 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So it can be a bit of a hassle sometimes, but like at the end of the day, they're probably developing a better way to do it, because this is a big reason that a lot of people got the Switch Lite. And it's nothing that's like too prohibiting. Like, it's nothing that ruins the experience. It's still pretty seamless, but it's just an extra step that I'd rather not have to be there.
Yeah.
But it's very comfortable. It's like it's much smaller than I thought it was going to be. It's very firm. It's very comfortable.
And that's what I was going to ask you
really well.
was, yeah, it's, even though it's called the Switch Lite, it's probably fairly light, right? Like light to hold.
Yeah, but yeah, it's physically like, because I remember the first time I held it, I didn't actually have it yet, but they let me, I think we talked about it last episode, but they let me hold it in the game store when I went to pick up Link's Awakening. And I was just surprised by how light it was. Like, it was absolutely insane. Because it's like, and the fact that, because it feels like I'm playing it, and because like for the first week, I just wanted to like get a feel for it. So even when I was like sat next to my TV, I'd just sit in my chair with the light just to get used to it. And it was so weird because it reminded me so much, more than the Switch ever did, of just playing a 3DS, which it was so weird playing Breath of the Wild, but getting that feeling of I'm holding a 3DS right now.
Yeah,
like, it was so
how light
strange getting that. So, yeah.
It's a lot smaller too, right? Can it fit in your pocket?
I haven't tried putting it in my pocket yet, but I assume it could, because I can fit the Switch in my pocket if I take the Joy-Cons off, and it's about the same width as a Switch with no Joy-Cons.
Okay.
So it should fit in the pocket.
And of course, it comes with all the colors. How many colors is this? 3, right?
There's 3 at the moment. There's turquoise, there's yellow, and there's grey.
Right.
But then on November 8th, which is the same day as what's it called? Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
On November 8th, they're releasing a Pokemon edition, which is very, very exciting.
Now that's going to be selling that's definitely going to be selling for the holidays.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because Pokemon's the biggest game probably coming out for Switch right now, and then you got you got the Nintendo Lite bundle. Like that would be perfect. Bundle that with the Pokemon game, and that would be perfect.
Yeah, and I think that's only 250, and that comes with Pokemon Sword and Shield. So
Sword or Shield, right?
Yeah. You
okay.
pick.
I was like, Sword and Shield. Hold on, I need to buy it.
I think you can get one that's Sword and Shield, and that's only like 270. So like, that's not too much extra for like the second one.
Not bad.
Yeah, really liking the Switch Lite. Would I say it's worth the money if you've already got a Switch? Not really. Like, if I didn't do this podcast and I didn't do my YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't have gotten it, because a big part of it for me was I want to make videos on this and I want to be able to have it so I can do some content with it. So I'd say if you've already got a Switch and you're comfortable with using it in handheld mode, you don't find it too fragile, and your Joy-Cons are both still working, I'd say you can go ahead and skip this one. Maybe wait until the Switch Pro.
Yeah.
But for me, because of the YouTube, and then because my Joy-Cons have also started drifting, so I can't really use it in handheld mode too much until I get a new pair, it just sort of made sense, and I've gone ahead and got it.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing I haven't talked about either on the Soul Dojo podcast or even on here, is like sometimes you buy things just to be like, I need to do some videos on this. Like I bought, and I don't know how much you're keeping up with the dojo right now, but I bought like Borderlands strictly because I was like, I'm just gonna make sure I just do some stuff over it. I haven't done any Borderlands videos.
Yeah, same with the Switch Lite. Like, I recorded a video on the day I got it, and I was watching it back whilst editing it, and I was like, this is not good. And then I just haven't gotten around to making another video.
It's like you forced it and it didn't come out right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just
I got you.
A bit of a mess.
Yeah, you're just like, that's not good enough. So
yeah.
Well.
So yeah, that's the Switch Lite. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit on the list because there's links to the Switch Lite, and so we'll loop back.
What I gotta say, about the Switch Lite is, it looks great, and I think for kids that can't really play on their TVs, it's the perfect like alternative if you want to play Nintendo Switch games, and it's probably gonna push out the 3DS easily.
Yeah. Well, and also I was worried that because it was like all one unit, I was worried that it was going to feel too much like the Wii U gamepad. And let me say, that is not an issue at all.
Good.
Like, it's very, very sturdy, very well made.
Good.
But speaking of the Switch Lite overtaking the 3DS, there was this there was the Nintendo like investor meeting that they have to sort of sum up the end of this quarter that happened just about 8 hours ago.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can find the actual article. But the guy who was reporting on it said that in order to increase the sales of the Switch Lite and make the product seem more desirable, they're going to try and slowly roll out 3DS games for the Switch.
I would
just straight
love
up
it.
ports.
I'd love it.
That'd be so insane.
That'd be
I would be
so cool.
happy with that.
But I just don't want them to get lazy and think, hey, like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3DS version coming. No, like remake it.
Give us a HD version of Ocarina of Time, please.
Let's go ahead and throw it in that Unreal 4 engine and let's make it real. Like let's make it real, like legit. So it was Furukawa, who is the president of Nintendo. So he's like proper high up. Yeah.
And he said something along the lines of, in fact, let me translate the actual tweet here. Yeah, so like, here it is. In addition, Nintendo's president Furukawa commented that in order to further convey the appeal of the Lite, games that had been released for the 3DS so far will be released for Switch. So it's from the president of Nintendo. So we are going to get 3DS games coming to the Switch, and it sort of begs the question, because 3DS games, they look good on the smaller screen. Yeah. If you blow them up, they're not the best looking games graphically. Right. Like it couldn't render too much, so the models don't look great. So and on top of that, it's all 480p. So it's not gonna be the same as the Wii U ports where they just sort of like almost copy and paste the game and add like a mode or two. Like they're gonna have to do full polish the game,
right,
and make it almost an entirely new thing. Maybe they'll probably have to put it in a new engine and everything to get it to actually run properly. So
I completely agree.
They're doing that.
Completely agree. I think that's absolutely right. That because I mean, if you look at like The Witcher on the Switch, the Switcher, you got to scale that down somehow. But with this, you got to scale it up. You know what I'm saying? To be able to fit on the screen and to be able to fit on your TV like that. So yeah, like you said, it's like 480, right? So you're gonna be looking at some very pixelated, very scrappy looking graphics. So they're probably gonna have to throw it into. They're gonna have to go through the game and definitely like iron out a lot of edges and things like that. So it's like small. It's gonna be a small development project for each developer, whatever 3D games they put on.
Yeah. What did you have a 3DS?
I did, but I only had it for a little bit. I didn't really. I had it to play Diamond and Pearl, but that was it. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, but that was it.
Okay, so what 3DS game would you want to see them put on the Switch?
I would actually like to see them do. There was a 3DS. Wasn't there a Legend of Zelda 3DS game that was like, and I might be wrong. I know it isn't like. Was it like Seasons, the 4 Seasons or something? It's something like that.
There's a Link Between Worlds, and there's there's like a spin-off one that's like Four Swords Adventure or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
it's something
like a
multiplayer
like spin-off thing.
Okay. 3DS. I'm actually looking it up as we speak right now, and I don't want the Ocarina of Time. Like that's just no, or even Majora's Mask. I'm not even. Is it Triforce Heroes that was on there? Is it Triforce Heroes?
Triforce Heroes is one of them. Which that's the one I was thinking of. That's like a weird multiplayer thing. I don't know what that Four Swords thing is actually. Come to think
Four Swords, I think was on the. I bet you it was on the Game Boy Advance or something, and I'm just like, well, that's the only...
I'm thinking Game Boy.
Yeah. What is that? A Link Between Worlds? A Link Between Worlds I'll definitely take for a Legend of Zelda game. I would like them to actually remaster some of the old Pokemon games too. That'd be kind of sweet. Just so I would like to kind of experience them again. Like Diamond and Pearl I really liked. I never played Black and White, so it'd be nice to play those as 3DS games. Bravely Default, which is an RPG. I would love to play that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've never played it, but I've heard it's really, really good.
Some of the Fire Emblem games are good for 3DS, so it'd be nice to kind of get that. And I think it would just make the Switch's library so huge because you already have the independent and the smaller Japanese games on there, so why not?
Yeah, it would definitely pad it out a bit more.
Like, how many games are on the Switch now? I mean, within the first 2 years, PlayStation or Xbox didn't have this big of a library yet.
No, I think it's like over 1,000.
It has to be well over.
A lot.
And you got quality games in there.
Yeah.
You really do.
Do you want to hear a fun story about me and A Link Between Worlds?
Sure.
So this is gonna be interesting because I'm kind of a criminal. So
Oh my god.
it was the day before the school broke up for Christmas,
Uh-huh.
and my form tutor was like, okay, tomorrow you can just like bring in your phones and just sit on your phones, or like bring in game stuff or whatever. And so I brought in my 2DS at the time, and this other kid who was like he was in year 11.
Mm-hmm.
I was in year 7 at the time,
Yeah.
and we came in the next day, and I had my 2DS. He had his 3DS, and so I went over to him because we'd talked about Breath of the Wild a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And so I went over to him and was like, "Oh, what games have you got on your 3DS? We might be able to play something together." And he was playing Link Between Worlds, and I was like, "Oh, is that Zelda?" And he was like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I haven't played that one. What's it like?" And he was like, "I'm pretty much done with it. You can borrow it if you want." So I was like, "Oh, that'd be insane. Thank you so much." And so he let me borrow the game, and I had to give it back to him 2 weeks later when we came back in January.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, that was 4 years ago. I've still got that game because I forgot to bring it in.
Yeah.
It completely slipped my mind, and then he left.
Oh,
so
wow.
What I do? I've seen him a couple times in my local town centre, which is like a mall.
Yeah.
So I've seen him a couple times there. I've talked to him a little bit, and I've never had it with me. So now I have it every time I leave the house. I put that game in my pocket just in case I happen to see him, and I can give it to him because I still feel guilty about it to this day.
I think that game is the link between the two worlds between you two. So I guess that's a good way to look at it.
I talked to him recently on Instagram, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't really like Nintendo anymore." So I don't feel that bad anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you stole it. It was like, you know what? I just kind of forgot.
I just hate being the guy who borrows things and never gives them back because I know people like that. I let someone borrow my copy of Arkham City, and I've never seen it again, and that really annoys me. And I'm that guy now.
Yeah,
I've become what
I'm that. You're just labeling yourself. You're like, yeah, I'm just that guy now. No,
I'm that guy.
Yeah, I let a friend borrow Dark Souls 3, and I haven't seen, but I don't care. Like I've beaten that game so many times. I'm like, okay, whatever. I already knew he wasn't gonna give me that game back. So
yeah,
whatever.
I'd like to see maybe not. It's a 3DS game, but maybe not a port. Maybe they do a sequel. But Mario Sports Superstars, which was that one where it's like Mario, but it's got tennis and football and hockey and all of that stuff. So I'd love to see that make its way over because it was released in March 2017. It was after the Switch came out. So I don't know why that made its way to the 3DS and not the Switch, because I would have killed to have a game like that on the Switch. Because that seems like it would work really, really well on that.
Yeah. So so it's called Mario Superstars, right?
Mario what's it called? Mario Sports Superstars.
Mario Sports Superstars. And you said it had, now for the American listeners, it's soccer you meant, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because you know them over here. I knew what you meant, but you know how they get. I think it
might also have American football though. So it could be both.
Okay.
But it's by Bandai Namco, who made Smash. So
okay, sweet. Yeah, I was watching the MLS playoffs yesterday, and like here, it's our commentary is so bad compared to like British commentary. Like it's so bad. The dude's just like, yeah, Jeff. Yeah, he swung the ball in, and it's just great soccer. It's just really great soccer. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's not. I've seen a couple of American matches, and the commentators seem dull. But I'd rather have a dull commentator than an idiot like Michael Owen, because we're going way off track here. But some of the things he had said whilst commentating, like one of them was, that shot was unstoppable, absolutely incredible. There was no way the keeper could have ever got that. But the keeper just needs to do better. And it's like, what? You just said it was unstoppable. And there was also one that was like, that would have been a goal if it went inside the post. Yeah.
I mean,
yes, it would have.
I mean, duh. Yeah, Michael Owen is kind of, he's always been really weird. I like Martin Tyler, man. I was watching the FA Cup game, and he was just like, he was like, you know, I used to come here in Shrewsbury.
Yeah, he always talks about his days as a player.
Yeah, my mother used to pick me up around this time during school, and we used to pass this stadium every time. And I'm like, oh my god, this is just this isn't even a football match anymore. This is story time. We're Martin Tyler.
It's a podcast he's doing.
Yeah, this is amazing.
I would love to see like Martin Tyler and like all the actual like football commentators commentate a match of football in Mario Sports Superstars. Like I'd love to see what they made of that.
Mario gets the ball here. I used to go to the Mushroom Kingdom when I was a kid.
Is that a metaphor for drugs?
He did say PG-13, you guys know.
Yeah. It's a spooky episode.
Just spook. Yeah, definitely. We haven't even gotten to the scary news yet. Like,
no, we're on our second item still.
That's funny.
Well, let's go back a bit. Let's talk about another thing that we talked about last month that I'd like to elaborate on a little bit more. Link's Awakening. Now, last month I couldn't have praised this game more. I was so happy with it. Let me tell you, I have done a complete 180 flip. I am not enjoying this game.
What?
Nope.
Why?
Just not. I just think what they've done is they've put a filter on an old game and just gone, here you go. You look at remakes like the Crash Bandicoot remake where they make it look better, but they also have like new elements. It's like very cartoony. They've made what should have been made at the time and what they would have done if they had the technology. And people were saying that's what they did with Link's Awakening. I do not see it. Like I don't think this is what the creators were going for, because I guess it sort of feels dreamlike, but it only feels dreamlike because toys aren't real. Like there's so much more they could do to make it feel like weird and dreamy, and just making it toys in a diorama just doesn't work for me now that I've played more of it. Like I'm not enjoying it.
I feel like this is a joke.
No, like genuinely, this is 100% true.
I like waited for you to say, nah, I'm just kidding, I love it. Like I was waiting for that because of course I did the review on it and I praised it a lot. I think I gave the game like only 2 thumbs down when I did the review. And the funny thing is I didn't even need to finish the game to get the review out. Like I'm on the last instrument. But I don't know. It's kind of weird you say that, because when you say, you know, what they did with the Crash Bandicoot one is they kind of went in there and they changed all the assets and stuff like that. This game it definitely does not look like the original at all.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's literally a block by block remake. Like they could have done so much to make it new, but it's literally square by square. Like even the grass is in the exact same place, and it's such a dated map and a dated formula. And I just feel like there's so much they could have done to improve it. There is one thing in this game that is not in the original, and that's dungeon creating. And the dungeon creating is the worst part of any game I've played in the last year, because you can't place your own elements. Yeah. You just use rooms from dungeons you've already played and put them in your own order. It's just, I think,
I agree. The dungeon creating thing is actually one of the things I decked it off of, and I did for the performance of the game, because you do there is like a little bit of some lost frames when you're changing. I saw it a lot when I was like changing to different areas, and then also some of the shadows were starting to like glitchy. They were looking very glitchy, and no, and I in a way I agree with you. But I still think it's good. Yeah. I still think it's like really good. Again, I see what you're saying though. Like they didn't really do anything different to. It's like, it's one thing taking out all the assets and updating them to like an Unreal 4 engine and making them more lifelike and stuff like that. But you're saying they didn't add in any new mechanics, but they kind of did though, didn't they? They added in like the jumping and stuff like that.
That was in the original game, though. Like,
was
the
it really?
Jumping and the feathers and everything. Yeah, that's all in the original game.
Okay,
like,
for sure.
You can item management is slightly different.
Okay,
and that's the extent of it. Like, because now you can do like 2 things instead of 1, which is wow. Thanks, Nintendo. So, but like, I feel like it's lacking in so many ways, and there was so much potential there, and I don't hate it, and I'm still playing it. I'm very disappointed, because also like the frame rate is just insane. I don't understand how it's so low at times. And in fairness, whilst it's not too great on the Switch, playing on the Switch Lite, the frame rate is actually better.
Wow.
Because it's got a different processor, so it actually runs better, and that's probably the same.
And that was probably the ideal
Switch
game for that platform. Was a Switch Lite.
Because it originally came out on the Game Boy as well, so it sort of all fits in.
In a way, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening is like the Nintendo Switch Lite's kind of a launch game, because of course they launched the same day, so like of course it would be kind of it would be like, you know, kind of pretty good on the performance would be better is what I'm getting at, just like you said.
Yeah, it's sort of tailored for the Switch Lite,
right?
But even then, I don't think it's done enough, and it's the only thing that I feel like you can look at out of everything Nintendo's done since they launched the Switch. I think it's the only thing you can look at and genuinely say that's a cash grab, and that's just a ploy for money. And that's maybe not necessarily a bad thing. Like, do you think like Disney would have greenlit Avengers Endgame if they didn't think it was going to make billions? Like, of course not. Like, everything's done for money. But I feel like it's a shame when such a big franchise, and it's the one thing on the Switch that you can look at it and go, that was done just for money.
I'm very surprised at you right now.
Yeah, well, look, it's been a long month. I've had time to brew on it.
What? Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Who did it?
Well, let me tell you, I've been having my own dreams where I've been stuck on an island, and all I've had to play is Link's Awakening, and it's just been driving me insane. That's not true. I'd like to clarify to our listeners, I'm not actually being haunted by this game.
This is the best part of the podcast, is the fact that
Halloween episode.
Yeah, that's it's scary. And I think you're scaring me right now. I think this isn't even your real. I think you're just scaring the crap out of me. Nah, but this is the best part about the podcast, is like me and you don't always agree on a lot of things, but that's crazy. Yeah. I'm still very well enjoying it. I think it's very well straightforward. Yeah, and you're right. It's a like for like, but I do love the fact. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels when you play. I love the design of a lot of not the dungeons, but some of the monsters you fight in the dungeons, the bosses and stuff like that. And I think it's actually a really straightforward Zelda game. Yeah, but in retrospect, a year from now, I can definitely see it how you're seeing it though. You know what I'm saying? When you think of remakes, they do throw like some of the more updated mechanics and maybe updated things into games, and they kind of didn't do that. But did we really expect it from Legend of Zelda? Link's Awakening?
But we should though. I feel like as consumers, we should expect, for a company with the money like Nintendo as well, the money and the talent, and the manpower of Nintendo. Yeah, exactly. Like, we should expect more. We shouldn't just go, it's just what they do. Like, we should go, no, like, I guess. But my big thing with it as well is that back in the day, it came with like a manual and a guide, and it told you what to do.
Yeah.
But now it seems, I keep on, and I'm not sure if this is the same for you. There's some bits where I have no idea what to do here, and I've had to look up a guide. And I feel like there's so much they could have done. Literally just including a digital guide in the menu. That would have made me kind of go, oh, okay, they've done something. They've tried to make it more modern. I'll give them this. But like, you don't even have a quest log, like you did. Like, I feel like if you want to play this game properly, you have to sit down with a piece of paper next to you and like write down what you've been told to do. Because if you miss a dialogue choice, like if you're just not looking at the screen, or you don't take it in properly, you're stuck for like the next half an hour. Like, if you just don't, like, it's just, well, like,
and that's how it is. That's how it is. That's how it was back then too. Of course.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is probably a gripe with me, but I honestly think it's just me as a gamer. Like, I'm just so like, I get lost easily in that game, and I just have YouTube up the whole time. I'm like, where the heck am I at? What am I doing? Like, I don't even know. Yeah. So it's, I agree and disagree a little bit.
It's definitely a game it's for a specific person, and it doesn't suit my takes. It suits your takes, obviously, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. We're allowed to disagree.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, we were allowed. Everybody's allowed to have an opinion. I'm very surprised at yours. I thought you was gonna be still just like I literally went into this podcast like, oh, we're just gonna literally just talk about how much we love this game together, like for this segment of it. But I guess that made that a little bit more interesting.
Well,
Definitely.
look, if you're surprised by this opinion, when we get to listener questions later, I have one hell of a surprise for you.
Oh,
So a
dude.
little bit of sizzle for the podcast.
Oh God. And me and you were supposed to be
Um,
talking about game of the decade soon. So
yeah,
you stirring the pot. You just stirring the pot.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We need to do a game of the year and game of the decade episode at some point
I
soon.
know. It's becoming it like when is next month is November. We need to get it done by sometime in November. Yeah, totally.
I reckon if we do, this is just a bit of behind the scenes talk for the podcast, but I reckon if we record our game of the year and game of the decade episodes back to back, we put one of them up we put one of them up in November and one of them up in December.
I like it.
So just give us a little break in December whilst Christmas and stuff's happening.
Oh yeah,
so we don't have to sit down and
like
worry
it.
about recording.
Yeah, I think we should do the game of the year one in November and then the decade one in December because we're going into 2020. But wouldn't the games hold on? But wouldn't the games in 2020 be considered the games part of the decade?
I always sort of think that, but if you think about this decade, it's 2010, 2011, because you think of 2011 as number one, but 2010 is one. Like that's
okay. Okay,
like
I get you. I get you. I get you.
So it's like 2010's one, 2019 is 10. Yeah. Like it's confusing, but it works.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
People aren't going to care about this, but the new Tame Impala album comes out 2020, so it's going to be a great way to start off that decade.
I'm pretty sure people care about that.
I'm so excited. Speaking of things I'm excited about,
but your Tame Impala play Legend of Zelda and they like it.
Oh, that would conflict me so much because I've got to agree with Master Kevin. But so speaking of things that I'm excited about, I'm quite excited because some point soon, I haven't got it yet, but I'm going to go and pick up Ring Fit Adventure. Now, we talked about this when it was announced. We've got a whole mini episode on the channel and on the podcast about it. What have you seen about Ring Fit Adventure recently? Because it just sort of came out. Like, I didn't really even know when it came out. I just know
me
that
either.
It did.
I seen Jimmy Fallon over here. It's like a talk show. You guys probably know about that in the UK. I know he was playing it and he got like a high score on it. But I'm not really interested in it, to be honest with you. You know, I'm not really into like VR. You know, I'm not really into VR and motion stuff. Like I'm not really.
I've been playing a whole lot of VR recently,
which is nuts because I've not touched a VR anything yet. Just not interested. Wow. Yeah, just not. I believe that like Resident Evil 7 is good on it. Like I believe that's probably a good game for VR, but I'm just not interested. I'm just want to keep a controller in my hand.
I was gonna do a video of me playing Resident Evil VR and like record my reaction to it. This for like Halloween.
That's hilarious.
I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So next Halloween, people.
Next Halloween, you got a whole 365 days to build up confidence.
Yeah, and to tease the video and get people excited. This will be my big break, I feel. But that's weird to me that you didn't go in on it or you're not excited about it. Because when we talked about it on that mini-sode, I was like, I couldn't really care about it, and you were like, no, I'm probably going to go in. I feel like we've switched completely, because I'm super excited to go in on it soon. You don't seem like you could care less about it.
I remember me talking about it. I think it was just like, I think it was more like, I can see why people are going to get behind this thing. I think I understand why people are gonna play it because it's cool, but I don't think I ever said I was gonna buy it. Like it's like the Lite, it's like the Nintendo Switch Lite. I love it. I think it's awesome, but I'm not gonna buy it.
And I'm a big enough sucker to give Nintendo all of my money.
They deserve it most of the time, though. They're great.
Well, with Ring Fit Adventure, the big reason it's in the news for us this week is because there's been some massive stock shortages. Like, have you heard about that?
Stock sorted? Like people is it selling out that quick or?
It's selling out quick. Like people cannot get it. It's like when the Switch first launched and you can't really get it anywhere. Like it's insane. And I was listening to a podcast on my paper round last week. It's called Filthy Casuals with Adam Knox, Ben Vanel, and Tommy Dasilo, which everyone should check out because it's an incredible podcast.
I think I heard
it's sort of my whole inspiration to do podcasts.
Nice.
It's an absolutely incredible show. But Ben Vanel was talking about, he went in to pick it up. He couldn't find one anywhere in the entire city of Melbourne. It was not anywhere. And then he just found one single one in one. They call it JB Hi-Fi over there. It's like a sort of GameStop sort of thing. So that he went over to pick it up. He was talking to the person at the counter, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Nintendo are like falsely limiting them because that was a big thing when the Switch came out, and with the Amiibo, they were like falsely making it look like their product is more desirable by not giving enough to shops. Wow. But apparently with Ring Fit Adventure, Nintendo and JB Hi-Fi have like thousands sat in a warehouse, but Nintendo is only allowing the companies to release them 3 or 4 at a time.
Wow.
It's insane. It's
that
like
reminds me of the
demand
Wii
stuff.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Wii.
Well, everyone was talking about it with Amiibo because it was people are like, Nintendo need to stop falsely like not letting us buy out the things we want just to like make it seem like they're worth more and to drive up the price of them. And people were really mad about it, and it seemed like they'd stop doing it, but obviously not.
Wow.
It's insane.
Well, yeah. So are you getting it sometime soon?
As soon as I can, I will be getting it, but it's not available anywhere near me at the moment. And
Jesus.
I just don't know. I just don't know how I'm going to get it. I might end up to pay big prices for it on eBay if I can't get it soon, because I want to get it before the year's up. Like,
just don't do nothing weird for it.
No, I'll stay away from that. Overwatch.
Overwatch 2.
Next news. No, Overwatch 2. It's been very, very heavily rumored that it's happening.
Yeah, along with Diablo 4, but
yeah,
you know, one of these are going to be an early April Fool's joke or a really out of season April Fool's joke.
Yeah. Well, we obviously had that rumor of Diablo 4 last year, and then at BlizzCon, they all came out, and it was a mobile game.
Yay!
Don't you guys have phones?
Don't you have phones? No, we have high-powered PCs.
I'm just so... I'm still mad that happened, and I couldn't care less about Diablo. Like, I've never gone in on that series. I've never even read much about it.
Yeah, it's a great series.
It still annoys me that they did that.
Yeah, it's really... It's just not knowing... It's just disconnecting. You're just disconnected from your fans. Like, that was the stupidest thing. Like, what made you think that was gonna work? What made you think you were gonna get applause? Hey, we're gonna make a Diablo mobile game. Screw that game.
It's the worst thing you could say.
Yeah.
Speaking of the worst things Blizzard could do, this is the main reason that Overwatch 2 is on the news list, because Overwatch 2, it's a leak. There's not much to say about it. But Blizzard, the big boys at Blizzard, they decided it would be a smart idea, and I'm not 100% clear on the story, but they were hosting some sort of esports event or tournament or whatever,
right?
And the winner of the event said a message, like a pro-Hong Kong's freedom sort of thing, because there's some political thing going on between Hong Kong and China at the moment. And Blizzard, because this guy said a pro-Hong Kong message, Blizzard decided to give him a 6-month ban. And people were furious. Like, people were absolutely livid over it. Because the thing was, Blizzard they're an American company. But they have a lot of business in China. So they were like, okay, we've got to like protect our business over there. They're not going to let us trade there if we keep on like giving out pro-Hong Kong stuff. We've got to just ban this guy. But then some senator wrote to Blizzard and was like, guys, you're an American company, and people have freedom of speech in America. You can't just limit what people are saying and then ban them from your game when you are running an American company.
Right.
And people, so like, even a senator was writing to them about it. Reddit went insane. People absolutely hate Blizzard now, which is why.
Well, I don't think they hate them now, but it's. I think that's definitely made it worse. I think Blizzard has been. Yeah. I think Blizzard has been tripping a lot recently. I want to say, because their Activision Blizzard, I want to say like there was recent layoffs, and then on top of this kind of news story which involves high in politics, this is just not a good look for them at all. And like you said, the thing, I didn't know the senator is it do you know what senator it is from a certain kind of state?
I have no idea. I can look it up.
Okay, yeah. I probably wouldn't even know him too. That's how you know. But no, if somebody from here that's high in politics here contacts you and say, "Hey, we have freedom of speech here in America," which we do, that is a big issue. And they did light it up they did light up the headlines there for like the whole week with this. Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of, because BlizzCon happens in 2 days, which is like Blizzard's big festival where they announce
Isn't it tomorrow?
Stuff.
Friday?
It's November 2nd, I think. But
2nd.
Could it be tomorrow?
I thought it was.
It could start tomorrow.
This weekend. This
week, but it's this weekend. So people are furious over Blizzard. There could be like massive things there, because also like the people who are working at BlizzCon, they're not Blizzard employees. They're just people who are like doing a job for a day at a convention center,
right?
Just like trying to
freelancing.
Make sure yeah. And now they're gonna be like potentially like I don't want to say attacked, but like they're gonna be shouted at. People are gonna be furious at them. There's people who are gonna turn up purely for the intent of just screaming at as many employees as they can, because Reddit is just furious, and we know what Reddit's like.
Yeah, and those people don't deserve it.
No, they don't, because it's some like higher up who's a CEO who's so out of touch with everyone that he doesn't know what the backlash is going to be, and he decides to do it, and all the PR people have gone, no, this is a bad idea, Tony, don't do it. I don't know if his name's Tony, but
right, you're just saying it.
But then it's all gone wrong.
Yeah,
it's a mess.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. And I think maybe the Diablo and the Overwatch 2 rumors are kind of coming out to settle everybody down, maybe so they can get anxious and be like, ooh, are we gonna get this? Are we gonna get that? So
you think like Blizzard's almost purposely leaking it, sort of like
it could be.
I see that.
Yeah, it could be something like that. Damage control, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I guess that would make sense, because the two things sort of became rumors when this all happened. It was like in the same day. It was also like Overwatch 2's happening, maybe. Who's to say?
Who's to say? And then, they're like, yeah, Overwatch 2 for
Halloween. Mobile. But because Blizzard had an event, like an Overwatch New York store, in New York, obviously.
Yeah.
And Blizzard cancelled it like at the last minute, and that because of the whole because they were like worried about employees there being attacked because of the whole Hong Kong thing.
Yeah.
But then they can't just cancel BlizzCon, because the Nintendo event was going to be free and anyone could sort of turn up, I think. BlizzCon is like, it's $200 to even watch the stream online. I don't know how much it costs to actually go to the event.
Yeah.
Like, wow. It's insane.
Wow.
It's mental.
This is a really sticky situation for Blizzard, but they just been messing up so much recently. My goodness,
it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I can't understand what would make them. What would maybe? I just don't know. I just don't know. Whoever was in charge of that made an awful call.
Yeah,
just not a good idea.
And didn't the guys that was on the stream with them, didn't they get like fired from their job?
They could have done. I'm not entirely sure.
You're not sure? Okay, I think they did.
But they may well have. It seems like something that Activision would do at the moment. It's not good. Speaking of not good, Doom Eternal was delayed.
Yeah.
I'm bummed. I love Doom.
Yeah. When is it delayed to though? Like, what is it like?
April 20th.
April 20th. Okay. Oh.
It's the same day as Animal Crossing. Is it New Horizons? It's called.
Is it April? No, I think Horizons. No. April 20th.
Yeah.
That's Cyberpunk.
Oh, is that Cyberpunk?
That's Cyberpunk.
Jeez.
Oh. Why are they doing that?
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Wait, is it definitely April 20th?
We're gonna have to look it up.
It's March 20th.
Okay, March 20th is a different time.
It's still only a month off.
Yeah.
From Cyberpunk.
You're gonna want Animal Crossing to be your competition than Cyberpunk. Trust me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, I was like, Doom doesn't want that. That doesn't sound like they would do that. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
man.
I feel like I'm more excited for Doom Eternal than I was Animal Crossing. So I'm probably gonna get this over Animal Crossing. If I can get both, that'd be great. But with Cyberpunk coming out just a month after,
is it launching on Switch too?
Well, it's March 20th for Windows, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Yeah. As
well as Stadia. But then Nintendo Switch, it was gonna release at the same time as the rest when it was gonna be a November launch. But then it got changed, and all they've said they've given it like a vague 2020 at some point.
It's coming. It's coming. People love it on the Switch. It works on the Switch. They're gonna go get it. It's great. It's great.
It's so weird because it was gonna be like literally a month out.
Yeah.
And it's now what, 4, 5, maybe even 6 months out, I think.
Yeah. What they say
That's
what it
insane.
was necessarily, because I just saw Doom get delayed and I was like, ooh, for the people that, because Doom Eternal looks great. It does look really awesome. I didn't play the first one, and it's not that I'm not interested in the game. Like, if I ever have like just a free game to get, it would probably be Doom. Like, I'd be like, ooh, just let me start playing some Doom, start kicking some butt. But
well, I was playing it just before I jumped on the pod. Like, I love Doom so much,
the
especially that
2016 version.
remake. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I love it.
Yeah.
I was really excited for this coming in a month, but it's been pushed back a long time, which I was also reading something. And March 20th, 2020 is pretty much as late as it can be while still being within this financial year. So they're literally pushing it back as far as they're probably allowed to, which means they probably want more time than they're even delaying it, but they just like someone's not letting them push it back further than they already have. So it might not even be finished by the time it comes round, and we might be looking at a sort of I'd hate to say it, but
don't say it. Don't say it. I know. No, I know what you're gonna say.
So make it maybe like an Anthem 6 sort of thing. Yep. Sorry.
Oh, no, you know what? It's gonna be better, because
it better be.
They're gonna have to. No, you know what's gonna happen is they're gonna have to go into crunch, which is gonna be very hard on the developers.
Well, I bet about a month before it's released, I'm calling it now, there'll be like similar articles to all that Red Dead Redemption 2 thing that was happening, where it's like, oh, people are having to work 100 hours a week.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Which,
just to make it work.
Is very, very bad. 100-hour week is a lot.
No, that's a lot of time, and you know what, Doom, at least Doom is a lot different than Anthem. I'm not saying you think I know what you mean when you give the Anthem comparison, but at least the people that are working on Doom at least kind of know what the game is about. They know exactly what the vision is, and I'm pretty sure if they put the nails to the keyboard and really work hard and get it done, I'm pretty sure it'll come out a pretty decent game still. So maybe the only thing I'll be worried about is like, God, they're probably working their tail off to get this game out, but I really hope it's good.
Yeah, and I'm not thinking it's going to be anywhere near as bad as Anthem turned out to be, because also it's not heavily an online game. I feel like the worst situation is the single player is just about finished. It's not going to be quite as polished as people would want it to be, but it'll be fixed with patches along the way. And then I think absolutely worst case scenario is it won't launch with a multiplayer mode, and they'll update that in a couple months down the line, because it is going to have a multiplayer mode, just like the first one did.
Right. But as long as it's free, because it should have been with the game, I think everybody will be okay.
Oh yeah, I think worst case scenario is it'll be late, but it'll be free. And
who's developing this game?
It's ID Software.
Oh, it's id. Oh, they literally, that's here where I live.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, there's
march in there.
Oh yeah, I got
kick
you.
Down the door.
Yeah.
And say, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's like 25 minutes from where I'm literally doing this podcast right now. Like, yeah, they're right. I'm gonna be like, hey, you guys need any help with this game?
We should see if we can get them on the show.
That would, if I can get somebody on id Software on this show, that would be absolutely sick.
I could get the manager of a game store in Telford to come on the show, if that's the same thing at all.
That's no.
it's quite not far away from me, but the guy who runs social media, he's an absolute legend. Everyone, okay, I cannot recommend this enough. And this will be going on my Twitter, and so just go to @GameTelford, because the guy who runs the Twitter account is absolutely hysterical. He did a thing today where he does like a crossover of Freddie Mercury in the music video for "I Want to Break Free," and Luigi from Luigi's Mansion.
Goodness!
So he's got like the Hoover. He's got it's so funny.
That's funny.
Everyone go to that Twitter account.
Yeah.
And just watch it. It's something that needs to be watched.
Next delay. There's a few delays actually.
There were a lot of, I think like this and the Last of Us one happened. It was announced like within the same couple of days. Which Last of Us Part 2 was delayed till when?
It was delayed, I believe, 1 month.
Okay, that's not awful. Because they were saying it was going to be February, and now it's 29th of May. So that's just slightly over 2 months.
Yeah, slightly over 2 months.
Over 3 months.
Yeah. Not worried a bit. I think if you watch my video on the dojo where I did the news break of it, not really worried about it. If it's just polish you need, SIE is a good company, I think. And I think just waiting just a little bit longer for The Last of Us, I'm not worried about it. It's going to be great. Either way.
I still haven't played the first one. It was free on PlayStation Plus this month, so I've downloaded it, but I've not had time to go in on it yet.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited to give it a go. I'm actually kind of happy it got delayed because it gives me more time to play the first one.
Absolutely.
But I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's the trailer, and I think with the trailer, I think people are jumping that they killed the woman that Ellie's in love with. I don't think that's happening. I don't know. I think somebody else gets killed. I think that's just Sony kind of messing with this. I think they were really straightforward in the trailer, but I think something else is going on. I think there's going to be some surprises in the game, but I'm really excited for it. It's either going to be this game or Cyberpunk that takes the cake. And by the trailer of this game, my goodness, it just seems like storytelling is just on a whole nother level. And we're gonna have like a Red Dead Redemption God of War kind of fight going on for Game of the Year next year.
Well, I haven't watched the trailer yet because I don't want it to spoil the first one, which I'm sure it will.
In a way, it kind of does, yeah.
Yeah. So I will be definitely playing the first one as soon as I can. I've still got. I talked about it on the podcast before. But for like 4 or 5 months, I've had an unopened copy of Horizon Zero Dawn because I'm scared of it. Not because I think the game's going to be scary or anything, but I'm not ready to sink that much time into a game until maybe another year. Because like over this past like 2 years, I've been playing games like non-stop, and I kind of just want to break because I've been playing a lot of PES recently, been playing a lot of Mario Maker, playing a lot of Smash Bros. I just want things that I can play in like short bursts for half an hour, an hour. I'm not in a place to dive into a big story mode at the moment.
I really think that kind of topic I need to get you on the podcast for that one, because that's a really good like topic. Is like when do you choose to play those games, and like would you usually pick those games over there? Because I'm putting myself in danger right now, because you're saying you're playing PES, which is a little bit more of a casual game. You can go in, go out of PES. You're playing Super Smash Brothers. You can go in and out of Smash Brothers. I'm playing the Outer Worlds, and then today I just recently got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on PC. So I'm like,
that's a dangerous thing to be balancing.
Right. So it's like I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do reviews on both. I'm gonna get really deep in both. And I played The Witcher like a couple years back when it came out, but it's like the time. When am I going to get time? And then I'm going to try to play Pokemon on top of all this?
Yeah, my big thing is I'm awful at finishing games. So I'm thinking if I start anything as big as Horizon or Last of Us, I'm genuinely probably not going to finish it before Cyberpunk comes out. And when Cyberpunk comes out,
that's it.
I just want to be totally in that game.
Yeah,
and
me
another
too.
big thing is no matter what I do, even if I play like the shortest game ever, even if Last of Us was 10 hours long and I just tried to burn through it, there is no way I'll finish it before Death Stranding. And again, Death Stranding is a game where I want to have nothing else in the back of my mind nibbling at me like, oh, you still haven't finished this. What's the story going to be in that?
Right.
I just want to be totally in on Death Stranding.
What games have you finished this year? What games have you finished this year?
Yeah, definitely. I just want to,
He did not.
I'm so excited for Death Stranding.
No, I say, what games have you finished this year?
Oh, I thought you said we have a heavy ending.
No.
I'm very tired. So what games have I finished this year? I finished Red Dead 2. I know that came out last year, but I finished it this year.
You finished it this year.
I think that's literally the only thing I finished. Like I think I've had a bit of a year off from playing like big story-driven games.
Yeah.
I've not gone in on much this year, to be perfectly honest.
I'm a lot better with finishing games, but I literally think I only finished Kingdom Hearts 3. I think that's the only game I finished.
Yeah. Well, last year I had a massive year. Like I finished Yep. I finished World of Light on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I finished Spider-Man twice.
I finished Spider-Man
I started playing God of War. I'm not God of War. Red Dead 2. I did actually start playing God of War, but I never got around to finishing it. There's one other that I finished, but I can't remember for the life of me what it was. Nah, it's gone. It's not there.
I kind of forget most of the games I finished, but yeah, you just made me think of when I finished Spider-Man, finished God of War, finished Red Dead.
Last year was an incredible year for games.
Last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year was great. Even the year before that.
Detroit Become Human. That's what it was. That's the one I finished.
Okay.
So that was the other one. So there's like 4 or 5 that I finished there.
Nice. That's not bad.
Should we move on to the next bit of news?
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Well, this is more of a review than news. Luigi's Mansion 3. So I got this game today. I did my little YouTube review. I put it up there, which you can go and check out. I really enjoyed making it.
Yeah, you got the game today, and you did a review, or you did like an initial, like first impressions kind of thing. And
I stole your video, basically.
No, it's cool, man. It's great. I mean, I'm giving up on those kind of videos anyway because we're doing the reviews, like the full-on 90-second reviews. So. Yeah,
I do really like your 90-second review.
Thank you.
It's always
even though you're gonna probably look at the Legend of Zelda one and be like, yeah, he don't know what he's talking about now.
No. Like I see why people like it, and I get, just not for me. But yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3. I've been really enjoying it. I haven't had time to play much of it because I've been doing my reviews, and then I wanted to do some more VR stuff because I'm absolutely loving VR at the moment. Like I hadn't played in ages. Because I moved my whole setup and I just didn't have room. So now I've moved my PS4 from my room downstairs to the living room. So now there's a big empty slot on my cabinet where the PS4 used to be, which is just, it's killing me having nothing sat there.
Yeah.
I'll probably put one of the 2 PS2s that I have there. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of VR recently. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Luigi's Mansion 3. It's very fun. Yeah. It's very, very fun. It's much better than Link's Awakening was, I'll say that much. I think it's something that I'm definitely gonna play and I'm definitely gonna try and finish. But it's definitely just something to like give me something to do before Death Stranding comes out.
It's a game that I played the first one, and it's actually a lot slower than like any other tradition. Like it's not Mario Odyssey, right? So it's like it's very different. But what it does kind of relate to is like it has really awesome mechanics. Like I think you in your video you talked about Luigi, and you went in depth with like Luigi's a lot different than just regular Luigi.
Oh yeah, much different. Like there's a massive. They've pretty much created a whole new playable character from the ground. Because obviously he's like just a green version of Luigi, but there's so many little things that they've done. Like the way he walks is slightly different. It's like just floppier because he doesn't have like bones or muscles or anything.
Right.
He's just like sort of. It's so cool. Like I really enjoy what they've done with that character and how because it's so innovative for the series. Like they've never done anything like this before. They've never added in like a whole new character, just purely that's like a clone of Luigi sort of thing. And so they've done so well with it, and it's just so interesting what they've done, and I'm really, really enjoying it.
Well, they've added in. I get what you're saying, but it's like when you look at like Cappy and Mario Odyssey, when you look at the thing that he has in Mario Sunshine, I completely forgot what it's called. There's always like usually a companion in Mario games. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there is like a little sort of thing,
but you can actually control Luigi though.
Yeah, like the closest thing I could say is like Cappy in Mario Odyssey, when like you can control people and like it really changes the gameplay experience.
Nice.
But I feel like the big thing with Luigi, and I talked about this when I played the demo at Insomnia, it adds like a whole new level of lateral thinking. Like the part where you least think you would need Luigi.
You need him.
You turn out you need him, and then you figure it out, and you're like, oh, okay, I needed him the whole time.
Oh, I knew exactly what was going on the whole time. Yeah, and it looks fun. You didn't go in depth with the story at all. I don't know if like Mario got captured again, because I think in the first one he got captured by Bowser, I think.
I don't really pay attention to the cutscenes. Well, I usually do, but because I don't really care about the story of Luigi's Mansion too much, so it was just sort of like okay, let me in and let me just do an explore thing.
Let me just suck up some ghost, and there we go.
Yeah, exactly. But let me try and explain it from what I kind of vaguely remember.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's like Luigi, I think Mario's there, Princess Peach is there, and like a couple of Toads. They're at this like it's not a mansion anymore; it's a hotel, and they've gone to this hotel and they're in a lobby, and just without spoiling the opening cutscene because people will probably want to go in spoiler free. Things happen, and you have to. I don't know how to describe it without like giving it away because I know some people will want to go in completely fresh, but things happen and Luigi's left on his own. Let's just say. And he has to go and save all his friends.
You would think that because, like, this is a princess, she has all the money in the world. Why doesn't she get, like, an Airbnb or something?
Oh, they are staying in the dodgiest hotel I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It doesn't make any sense.
They're also in a... I think, if I remember this right, they're in a bus driven by Toad. They've just gotten their friend to drive a bus.
That's weird.
It's so weird. They could have just added in any NPC. They made it Toad. Because it's not like a generic Toad. It is Toad.
Yeah.
Like, it is... I don't know why they've made that choice, but I love it. It's very good.
It should be.
I'm really enjoying it. It's something that I'm probably not going to go back and replay, so once I'm done with it, I'll probably end up trading it in. Maybe to get... I might trade it in to get Pokemon, because I'm going to get Death Stranding over Pokemon. Because they come out like so soon after each other, so I'm spending my money on Death Stranding. But if I can, because I just spent 60 quid pre-ordering the new Tame Impala album, on vinyl. So it comes with a limited edition vinyl, a calendar, and a T-shirt for 60 quid.
This man and his priorities.
And there's like an ultimate bundle which comes with same as that other bundle with the vinyl, the T-shirt, and the calendar, but it also comes with a cassette and a CD, which that you can get the cassette and the CD separately. I just didn't have enough money to get Luigi's Mansion and the big bundle.
Yeah.
But like soon I'm gonna get the cassette and CD separately and pre-order that separately. So I'm gonna have the whole ultimate bundle.
My goodness.
So yeah, I'm a big Tame Impala fan. If people
the
theme to this podcast is an 8-bit version of a Tame Impala.
Yeah, that's right. And the funny thing is that I'm actually on the opposite. I was like, oh, I want to get Death Stranding, but I know I really want to play Pokemon, like really bad. So that's gonna be the game I go for.
It's a massive fork in the road. But I feel like if I go with Death Stranding and you go with Poopymon.
Oh wow.
I don't know why I was so unnecessarily mean about Pokemon there. That was undeserved.
Right.
Pokemon, you have my respect.
Oh, great.
You wanted to talk about Outer Worlds. Oh, also, it's a 4 on my GCSE rating scale. Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, Outer Worlds, yeah. And, you know, your rating scale, nobody knows, you know? Nobody knows what you mean. It's a mystery. I love it. Yeah, Outer Worlds. It's a very traditional RPG. Very traditional, and I think the simplicity of it and the straightforward, it's so textbook, I think is the best thing to say about it. And I think that's the best thing about the game. Like, Obsidian is like, I don't think they mean to, but they are cashing in on how much crap Fallout is getting right now. They are really cashing in on it. They have to be, and I'm pretty sure I've watched interviews with the developers. They look very wholesome, humble people, and they're like, wow, this is just perfect timing every single time. But it's like every time Bethesda mess ups, the Outer World does something better. And the Outer Worlds, it's so good at dialogue, so many dialogue choices, so many ways you can go about quest. The characters are really good. Pavarti, I put on Twitter that she's the most charming character in the beginning, but then you start talking to other NPCs and you start learning more about the lore and about a lot of the planets, and it's so much dialogue, and you can kind of form your own character that way, and your character changes in so many ways, and it kind of picks up the slack that you can't necessarily customize your character, customize the armor of your character to your very liking. It's just more like they have whole outfits for you to put on, but it kind of picks up the slack, and like you can be more of like you can be more of like a medic and kind of use like this medic kind of lingo where you're like, oh, if you're hurt, like I can press the medic option and I can help you, or You can play dumb and a lot of things. You could be a complete, a-hole about everything. Like it's a lot. It's a lot in the game. And I'll definitely do a 90-second review on the Soul Dojo where I'll go even more in depth and I'll lay out exactly what this game does right.
So which one is this? Yeah, this is Outer Worlds, because they also released Outer Wilds.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with it. Yeah, it has nothing to do with it.
It's totally unrelated.
Yeah, totally different. Yeah, this is the first game in the series.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought Outer Worlds was like a Fallout spin-off, but it's like a totally different thing.
Yeah, it's a completely different game. It's made by the people that did Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
So it's Fallout. I feel like the 3 games that it reminds me of is Fallout. What's the third game? It's Fallout, a little bit of No Man's Sky.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason why I say No Man's Sky is because of the setting and because of just like you have this spaceship and stuff like that. You don't fly it or anything, but you can go inside this spaceship and stuff like that. And because like the setting, it has these like, No Man's Sky had like those purple leaves on trees and these really weird animals. Like that's kind of what they have. And so yeah, it's a little bit of Fallout. It's a little bit of Mass Effect like too, with so many dialogue options and you can be popular amongst people and everybody dislike that type stuff. So yeah, it's great. It's great. And I'm about 13-14 hours in, so I'll do a review on it when I'm pretty close to beating it. Bam.
Yeah. So you say the dialogue's good, which, because the one thing I always find with games like this, I had it with Fallout and things like Skyrim, always the dialogue options just seem very generic. Like I could walk around Skyrim and like I could hear someone say, "Hello there, kind gentleman," like the same voice, different people, like 10 times in 15 minutes, and it just really takes me out of it when I just, "Hello there, traveler." It's like all of the time. It just it like so it's like it's nothing like that. Like, is there anything that gets too repetitive?
No, not really. Actually, everything. I think games have kind of moved on from that because that game came out in 2011. So yeah, every time you walk past the guard, he was like, "I used to be a traveler until I took an arrow to the knee." Yeah, like, hey, yeah, he said that every time. But you do get that oddball, like, especially the ones that want to come talk to you. Like they're like, "Hey, someone's been murdered." Then you pass them like an hour later, "Hey, someone's been murdered." It's just like he wants you to talk to him to get another quest. And no. When I mean dialogue, I mean when you talk to somebody, your options and the dialogue they come out are they're so unique. And like when you actually pay attention to the game, you actually get a good bit of information, and it's actually kind of interesting. Like I think Pavarti, I literally had a conversation with her in the bar about a woman she was in love with. And like I got a lot of experience from this quest, and all we did was just talk. And the dialogue options were so different that I was picking things that like, hey, I would totally say that in this situation, and I helped her through that. So I'm that kind of player too. Like I want to get involved with the characters' lives and stuff, and like I think the biggest thing about it, Niall, is they're so believable.
Yeah,
it's like
that was always my issue with Fallout 4.
Totally.
The options, and one of them would be like sarcastic, and it'd be like t-shirt, more like shmee, and it's like no one would ever say that. Like if the dialogue options are actually like realistic and genuine, that's like a massive thing for me.
It's funny, but it's because it's Obsidian, so they know how to make it funny.
And so does it actually tell you like a vague thing of what you're gonna say beforehand, or is it so it's not like the Fallout thing where it just gives you like it says like sarcastic or angry, and like it just sort of like, you have to choose which emotion you want to be.
It does kind of do that, but you gotta read the dialogue options. But some of them will tell you like, do you want to use your medic knowledge? Do you want to use your engineer knowledge? Do you want to play dumb? They'll have those in there at times. They'll tell you, because my dialogue is awesome in the game. So like I persuade a lot of people. I talk my way out of a lot of situations. And that's what I like about the game too, is like you can kill everybody in the game. You can kill everybody. Or you can try to work things out, which I try to do through my first playthrough. I'm trying to do it. So no, they're actually very versatile and well done. Well done.
Wow. Well, that sounds really good. I might end up going in on that at some
You
point.
should definitely.
Might whack it on the old Christmas list.
Oh yeah, it's a lot going on. But yeah, look, if you guys want more, I don't want to waste the whole podcast talking about it, but just stay close to the Soul Dojo on YouTube, and I'll do a 90-second review on it.
Give it a score. Watch the Soul Dojo's newest video, because that was such a good video. I just want to say this right now. Your new video was absolutely incredible. I really love that video.
Thank you.
Top work.
And you know what? When I did it, I watched it back like 8 times, and I was like, I love this video. It's so great. It's called Games We Chill To. So it's basically me like saying, look, I like, video game. I like violent video games, but I like games like The Sims and Animal Crossing and Minecraft too, because you don't have to do all that violent crap. You can just kind of enjoy the game, and they're a little bit more subtle toned,
And it was a very I don't want to keep like going on about how good this video was, but it was very well structured.
Thank you.
And like very funny as well. It reminded me of this guy that I'm a big fan of called Nakey Jakey.
Mm-hmm.
Who he did a video today about horror games, and he does stuff about like esports, but he's even like gone off gaming topics and talked about like pirating music and like Disney Channel original movies and things like that. And so he does like a whole bunch of things, and he's like very, very funny.
Those videos are very interesting. They are very interesting, and they're funny, and they're supposed to be entertaining. And I think I told my man, the guy that runs the channel with me, I was like, I think we need to just start doing those videos like that when it comes to the discussion videos, instead of being so serious all the time. Like, yeah, I think it would be great. But appreciate you now.
And it's definitely something that I'm trying to do more of. I know I've got a video coming later this week about who the best Nintendo character to know personally would be, and it's like a very similar sort of video in that sort of like casual, funny format.
That's a good idea. So that's a good idea. I like that video.
I'm looking forward to bringing that out.
Yeah.
Should we jump into our main spooky topic?
Let's do it.
We're talking about horror games today. So, Curtis, what would you say your experience with horror games generally is?
Generally, it's for the most part, I play pretty good horror games. I played all 3 Dead Spaces, and I loved all of them. I actually loved all of them. Yeah, people that don't like Dead Space 3, I like that one too. I did like PT. I did like the first Outlast. I did like Dying Light. But some of these games, like Dying Light 2, is a little too much for me. PT was a little too much for me too, because I don't like scary games. And I want to say Metro Exodus is a scary game too that I played earlier this year, and I couldn't finish it because the anxiety was destroying my heart slowly. It was destroying me. So scary. I mean, those are like 8 scary games right there. Like, I played all those, and if you have the mindset to play those kind of games, you are a special kind of person. I know a girl that loves playing scary games, and I just can't. Like Blair Witch, I can't play that crap.
Yeah.
That game is too much.
Like, my main experience with horror games is listening to other people talk about horror games. Like, I'll watch YouTube videos about horror games, and people talk about what they did when they play it. People will talk about it on podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I have never played anything that I would consider a horror game. The closest I think I've got is probably either Doom, because of like the sheer gore factor of it, but I wouldn't really call them. There's kind of jump scares, but nothing like that would actually make it classified as a horror game.
Right.
And the other option I'd say is a horror game that I've played would be Luigi's Mansion 3, which is again not
necessarily
close to
horror.
What most horror games are.
Yeah.
But what I have been really tempted to go in on is there's a demo of Resident Evil 7 which you can play in VR.
Mm-hmm.
There's a demo of the VR thing called Kitchen, where it's you exploring like a kitchen,
mm-hmm.
which is like I think it's pretty early on in the game. Maybe I think it's like actually in it. I don't know. But like apparently you get stabbed in it, and there's like a bunch of like jump scares and like people running across the room, just like scuttling in your view. And apparently and this is all in VR. And apparently it just really messes you up. I've been so tempted to play it, but I really want to do it for a video.
Oh no! That's crazy.
I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do it.
Probably won't
Okay.
be until I think we talked about this earlier on the podcast. My brain's slowly decaying, but I'm gonna wait until next Halloween to do it because I want it to be on topic. But it's a bit too late to do it now, so.
I hear that totally. No, I think it would be great to for you to definitely do a video like that and dip a little bit into horror games. Like I like certain games that are about the horror. Like I said, I love the Dead Space series and I like Dying Light, and I think Dying Light 2 is going to be even better. But some of those games, man, like I said, Blair Witch is like you only have a camera. Like screw that, and a dog. Screw that. Yeah. Screw Slender Man. I do not want to play Five Nights at Freddy's. Like none of that. Can't do it. Cannot do it.
My thing is I've always wanted to like dip my toe into Five Nights at Freddy's because I think like, oh, it can't be that scary because all the 8-year-olds love it. But then I also think, oh, I'm not good enough to have the strong enough mental state to play this. It will, because I feel like I like horror films, but they always slowly chip away at me.
Yeah.
And like I always have this fear of like, okay, right. One thing I think of all the time, I've been using the PlayStation VR a lot recently, and if you sort of like step out of the zone where it can like scan the headset and know where you are, it will come up with like a video of you. It'll be like the live feed that the camera's seeing of you, and it'll be like step back into this space. And I always think about, what if that video pops up and I see a stranger just stood behind me?
Oh my god!
Like, that would like, I'm actually like shaking right now and having to look behind me, just thinking about it happening. And also FaceTime. Whenever I'm on FaceTime,
yeah,
being able to see what's behind you and being able to see the door behind me through the camera, or even like if I was looking at it and I wasn't looking at the corner, and then hearing the person I was speaking to say, "Niall, what's that behind you?" And like, it's just,
god,
I can't deal with it. And I feel like just with the way VR works, like I did a skydiving thing on VR the other day, and it literally messed with me to the point where I took the headset off and fell over. Because I didn't expect to be like in my house again.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's definitely a danger with VR.
There is.
Like driving people to insanity. And I feel like I don't have a very strong mental state. And so I feel like VR would just push me over the edge a little too much. And it could cause me to like genuinely damage my brain.
Yeah. I think that's like when you're taking a shower and you're like shampooing your hair and you got to close your eyes and you're thinking like, oh my god, there's something in here with me.
Yeah. Or even like whenever I go into my bathroom, because my shower's in the bathroom. And
oh yeah, you
like
think there's a killer in there?
Well, yeah, because the shower curtain is always pulled over, and like I don't know who closes it, but the shower curtain is always closed. It's every single time I go in there, it is closed.
Yeah.
And I have never heard anyone close it, and I've told my family not to close it because it scares me. And they've gone, okay, Niall, we won't close it. I don't know if they're messing with me,
and
but
it's always
closed. And so I go in there at like midnight to do some of my business, and I walk in. I already need the loo, and I'm just seeing a closed shower curtain, and I'm seeing my own shadow on the shower curtain. But because it's midnight and my brain's not too strong of a place, I'm thinking, what if that's not my shadow? What if it's someone on the other side of it? So I have to grab the curtain and pull it open as quick as I can, and I always shake because I see the shower and I think it's a person. My brain doesn't work, is what I'm trying to say.
My brain doesn't work. Hey, one day you're gonna that would be terrified. One day you just pull it back and it's just,
what if there's a person there?
Yeah.
Because I have big downstairs in my kitchen. We have like an extension, and it looks out into my garden, and we have like big, literally floor to ceiling windows. And I always think, what if I see someone stood there? What if there is a person standing?
That would be so scary.
When I'm opening my curtains in the morning and it's still a bit dark, and I'm like, what if there's just a face? What if I see a face?
What if I see a face? It's gonna be me.
Literally, I get scared when playing a certain level on Super Mario 3D Land. Because, hear me out, right? There's this level in Super Mario 3D Land where if you go to the flagpole and you walk past the flagpole and you stand there for 2 minutes, this weird figure of a ghostly person fades in and then fades out. And it is terrifying because it's been put there on purpose.
Yeah.
And it's some sick developer at Nintendo who's gone, I'm going to make a 14-year-old freak out at this bloody Mario game.
Wow.
But like, still just, I don't like it. I don't like it. And VR is what's going to push me over the edge.
Yeah, man. You might have to watch out for that VR stuff, man. But I'm at this point now when like you know how you put like clothes on like a chair and then at night it just looks like somebody's there. At this point, I'm just like, look, I mean, I'm gonna go to sleep. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. That's what I'm at the point of.
I have dogs, and so my whole family will go out and go, and usually they take the dogs with them. Last week I was sitting in the house thinking I was totally on my own watching TV. I hear footsteps upstairs. And that's, so to be perfectly honest, sometimes I trick myself. I think I genuinely might have auditory hallucinations, because sometimes I think I hear footsteps and there's just not footsteps. And I heard a little girl scream earlier. I should probably add context to that without just saying it. I'll finish that thought in a minute. My brain's everywhere. But I shouldn't just leave that hanging, but I will. I heard footsteps, and I was like, okay, it's probably just my brain. So I heard them again, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll pause the TV and just listen closely. And then I just heard running, and I was like, oh no,
my time has come.
So yeah, genuinely, yeah, because I always I read stories as well, and because I listen to a podcast called spoooooky, where they read a book called The Mysteries of the Unexplained, where it's all like ghost stories and weird stuff like that. Yeah. So I always hear about stories of someone was murdered by someone they didn't know was secretly living in their own house. And so I was like, this is what's about to happen. And I went upstairs and it was just my dogs, my bloody dogs. But
that is
the little
crazy.
girl screaming. The little girl screaming. It's Halloween today as we're recording this. I think we mentioned.
Yep.
And I opened the doors to some trick or treaters. And they were just stood there. And then I just hear down the road, just your traditional horror movie little girl scream, just the full on way in the distance. And I just sort of thought, I'm not going to question that. And I just gave these kids their sweets. And
moved on with my business.
Yep. If someone just got murdered, hey, I'm not guilty.
That is so true.
Back to horror games. So what would you say is your favorite for me, who has never played a horror game? What would you recommend me going in on? Maybe not what's necessarily the best, but what would you recommend my starting point be?
Starting point for a horror game. When that was
preferably something that's on modern consoles as well.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was about to say I mean, I would just straight up jump into Dead Space. I think you would like Dead Space straight up, but I think you can play that on PlayStation now, by the way. But modern consoles, go ahead and try Dying Light. I mean, it's a game that it's first person. It's a first person little zombie survival game where you have a safe area and you got to go out and do things to kind of push back hordes and stuff like that, and help people out in the wild or whatever. And it has a whole bunch of parkour, a lot of leveling up type stuff. So yeah, definitely I would try out Dying Light if I was you. But like I said, it has that horror element because it's zombies and stuff like that. I think Outlast would be a little too much for you. PT is Hideo Kojima's work, so I probably wouldn't do that one. That one's really scary. That one is terrifyingly. I think I talked about it last podcast when there's you walk around the corner and there's a dead fetus in the sink and it's screaming its head off. It
all takes place in this one corridor as well.
Yeah, it takes place in
loops around, and sometimes it'll play tricks on you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it takes place in a in a hallway, and you're supposed to go through the hallway I think a few times. It takes about 20 minutes to beat it because it's a playable teaser. That's why it's called PT. But the scariest part of that whole game is you're listening to this radio intermission or whatever, and he's talking about the murders, and then the radio says, "Look behind you."
No.
Yeah, it says that, and never got that. I never got past that point in the game, never, because I turn it off every time. Yeah,
this is freaking me out. I don't know if I can podcast.
Look behind
people are listening to this. Don't shut up. People are witnessing the full-scale mental breakdown that I knew was going to happen one day.
Oh, it's scary.
Also, if you're wondering why I sound so far away from my mic, it's because I'm pinning myself against the wall so nothing can be behind. In fact, I'm just gonna move my mic real quick. This is actually getting to me. I'm not good with horror stuff because I love horror films, but just
which
I feel
is
because of
weird.
the interactivity.
I don't like
the interactivity
horror
of games.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Because, like, I was listening to this YouTuber, it was either Nakey, Jakey, or Scott that was. He was saying earlier with a film, you're watching someone else be murdered. But in, like, a horror game, if it really immerses you properly, you see something and you're like, okay, I'm about to be murdered. And it's just, like, because it's like that human survival instinct.
Yeah.
It gets to me, man. It really gets to me. And I feel like the VR is just going to mess me up.
Man.
So,
we're about to be 1:30. Do you want to jump to the listener question?
Yeah, but I was just gonna say, just real quick, would you count? Because I've heard conflicting reports, and it feels like this is like an ongoing debate. Would you count The Last of Us as a horror game?
Ooh. No, I wouldn't. No,
Really?
It's not. And you know what? Yeah, I mean, not really. I see why people would call it a horror game though, but I wouldn't put it in the same category. I think it has horror elements, horror aspects to it, but it's not really a horror game. I think that's kind of like the 20th thing that's good about that game, or that the 20th thing that you would like the 8th thing that you would like describe about that game. Like, oh, and it's scary. No, I think it's really story driven. It's really heart wrenching, really good characters, really good gameplay.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's like the 20th thing you say, like, oh, and it's scary. Like, nah, I don't think it's. I wouldn't classify it as a horror game.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I get why people say that though.
Well, according to this, Naughty Dog do. So shut up, Curtis.
Huh.
But well, that's from Wikipedia. How reliable could that be?
Yeah.
But from what I've heard of it, it's got like the clickers seem like they could be like a terrifying presence, but I feel like it'd be more eerie than it would be straight up like horror and jump scares and actually like keeping you awake at night.
Yeah, they're not that like, cause you hear them before you see them. So like Joel knows where where they are. Like they're always in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
I would say that's more scary, being able to hear them before you see them. Like it's like the footsteps upstairs thing.
Yeah.
Like
I hear you.
I don't know. I'm definitely gonna go in on it soon.
Yeah, I never felt scared going against them. Like I just felt like, oh, like it's more like, you know, if they do bite you, like you're screwed. But I never felt scared necessarily.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people would sort of say like, oh, if you saw a clicker in real life, you'd be scared.
Of course.
If you saw Mario in real life, you'd freak out.
Yeah.
That little 3'2" plumber guy, like he'd scare you.
Yeah.
His proportions are all wrong.
If you saw anything from a video game, really, it'd scare the crap out of you.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is New Super Mario Bros. U is the ultimate horror game. So let's move on to our first ever listener question. And boy, do I have a bombshell opinion here.
Oh, man.
This is a big moment for the podcast. Are you sure you're ready?
You know what? It's an up and down thing for me because I'm like, wow, we actually got a question. Thank you guys for actually, you know, putting in a question. Whoever did it, put in a question at WiiTalk Pod, right? Hashtag
WiiTalk Pod, yeah.
Yep, and put in your questions because me and Niall are definitely going to answer them. And yeah, like I think I'm ready because I think I know what you're going to say. And I'm going to tell you that I'm done with this podcast, probably.
Right. So this from Twitter user Harry Bensley. So hello, Harry. You are our first ever listener question person. So thank you so much for that. Massive shout out to you. Everyone go follow Harry Bensley on Twitter.
You're the man.
He asks, hello, hashtag WiiTalkPod. You guys are great. You are also great, Harry. His listener question is, what are your least favorite games you have ever played? So, Curtis, I'm going to throw this over to you.
Oh, I knew you was going to do it.
What would you consider your least favorite game you've ever played?
Like just one?
You can do as many as you want. I reckon we'll take it in turns because I've got.
Okay. I'm gonna say one of them is definitely I'm gonna say Ghost Recon Wildlands is a game I really did not enjoy. It's a game that was dumbed down. I feel like it dumbed down a series. The Ghost Recon series got dumbed down to appeal to the masses. I feel like there's a lot of things wrong with that game, but it isn't the worst though. I want to say Sonic 06. Sonic the Hedgehog 06 is probably one of the worst games I've ever played. It is just a...
Is that the one where he's like a werewolf for a little bit?
No, and I didn't like that one either. That isn't... Yeah, that was the freaking... I forgot which one that's called, but no, that was a bad one. So I didn't like it because it was so... The pacing was so up and down. No, it's Sonic 06. It's the one where he kisses like a female, like an actual human female.
It's the one where he dates a real woman. Yeah.
Yeah, because we never seen Sonic. We never seen Sonic like have a romantic relationship, like not even with Rose, like not with anybody. But all of a sudden he falls in love with like an okay princess. Like it ain't Rihanna that he falls in love with. Like it's like a okay female princess.
Because if it was, that would be acceptable.
That would be understandable.
Sonic,
it would be.
No, I'm saying that sarcastically. I don't think that Sonic the Hedgehog falling in love with Rihanna would be good.
I don't think it'd be good, but it'd be understandable. Cause look at Rihanna. It's like
whatever you reckon.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be ideal. I wouldn't want it in a Sonic game, but I'd understand. I'd be like, okay. But no, it was bad.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, it was bad though. It was glitchy. The levels weren't even that good. They tried to like reenact some of my favorite levels from I think from Sonic Adventure Battle. And it just wasn't. It was not good. It was not a good game. It's probably one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. Really bad. Any other game I'm probably gonna have to think of for a while. So I don't know.
Just quickly, the one where Sonic turns into a werewolf,
it's pretty bad.
He's technically called Sonic the Werehog. That game is Sonic Unleashed.
Sonic Unleashed. Yeah,
I remember playing it, and it's just like all I wanted to do was run fast in straight lines, and it wouldn't let me do it. It's just
exactly. That's so true. Oh, Bound by Flame is an absolute RPG mess. It's terrible. It's a terrible game. It has terrible dialogue, by the way. It's really bad.
Okay.
Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda are pretty bad games.
I was waiting for Anthem as well.
And just one more real quick because I have to say it. Fallout 76. That's a pretty good.
Yeah. I know a kid. He's like, I think he's 11, and he goes to like the theater group that I do because I do shows, and he keeps on coming up to me and talking to me telling me how I should give Fallout 76 a good chance. And how like Bethesda just made a little mistake and it's all right.
A little mistake, like, you little.
I'm gonna send this to him. But I tried to explain to him that releasing a completely like broken game, that's not finished, and then a year later saying, okay, how about you pay us £100 a month for it? Like, no, go away. Like.
And who asked for a multiplayer Fallout game?
I mean Bethesda.
Yeah, like who asked for this multiplayer Fallout game? Who asked for it? Nobody. You guys just didn't want to make a better Fallout game.
It was when at Bethesda's E3, those guys came out and they're like, oh, and now we've put a Battle Royale in Fortnite 76. Go away. No one wanted that. We wanted a game that actually worked. We didn't want...
Yeah. And they had to save that E3 too. That's why they talked about Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield. Yeah,
they showed a logo of Elder Scrolls 6, which everyone knew was going to come at some point, and then said, oh, here's a new IP that no one's ever heard of. They did. No, like, they were so... What an awful presentation from them. So, you said you think you know what I'm going to say for my answer to this. Yeah. Do you want to take a guess?
Yeah, do I want to take a guess? I don't want to ruin it. I'm gonna say it in my head right now. I said it.
No. Like, say it. I wanna know if you're right. I wanna be able to.
I think one of the worst games you've ever played is Skyrim.
Oh no! The thing is, I've been thinking about it recently. I'm willing to at some point give Skyrim a second chance.
Okay.
Because I feel like I went in pretty cynical of it, thinking, okay, this is a game that everyone likes. I'm gonna like I didn't go in thinking I'm gonna hate this, but I sort of went in thinking I feel like it's gonna disappoint me a little bit, and I feel like going in with that negative attitude made it disappoint me a little bit, almost.
But you were like 4 when this game came out too, so it's like you gotta.
No, I wasn't 4. I was 7.
Oh my God! Oh, my bad. 3 years off. My bad.
Disgraceful.
My bad. Well, the game came out in 2011, right? What year are we in?
2019.
Oh,
and
I'm over here thinking the game is 10 years old.
I turned 14 I turned 15, sorry, in a week. November 7th. So if people want to send me birthday messages, my Twitter's the Niall.
Anybody want to send me any money?
But so that is not what I'd say is one of my least favorite games I've ever played. I'm smiling right now because
I don't know what it is.
I don't think it's my least favorite game I've ever played, but I'd say it is just because of how popular it is, and so my opinion of it so vastly contradicts what everyone else's is that it justifies being in this list.
Can I get another? Can I get another one? Can I get another guess?
Sure.
I think it's. Is it Pokemon Red and Blue?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Right, I know you specifically are gonna go insane. Are you ready?
No.
The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
You are full of
No, genuinely, do not like it. I tried doing a run through, a playthrough series on the WiiTalk channel, and I stopped 2 episodes in because I wasn't enjoying it. And I went in so ready to love it. I literally went in thinking, I'm going to love this game more than I love Breath of the Wild. But I very purposely
That was the wrong way to go into it, Niall.
No. But like, I made sure that I didn't overestimate it, thinking like, because I part of me was like, okay, it's an N64 game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to like, if it's like middling, I'm not going to be upset. I just think, even for the time, I don't think this is a good game.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to start with you. Like I let the Link's Awakening slide. I let that slide. I was like, cool. It's just his opinion. I kind of understand where he's coming from. But this game, Niall, this game. Now I understand nostalgia is an evil thing. I understand that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking. I think a massive reason why is because of nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely get it, because it's like when you're playing it, it's like, oh my God, this game, it fills me with so much fantasy. It's so much story to it. And it's so big. But you've played Breath of the Wild. Wow. Okay.
Sorry. Sorry, go on.
You play Breath of the Wild, and it's like, you know what a great Zelda game is. So it's like,
yeah.
You go back to that, you're going to be like, oh.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Breath of the Wild was my Ocarina of Time.
Exactly.
But I'd say like the reason I don't like Ocarina is mostly because it's definitely because of the time I'm coming from it. I can see that for the time people would really, really enjoy it. But for me, it's just I don't find it fun. I got up to Castletown. There's a bit where you're just going in a straight line across a field for ages, which just wasn't interesting to me at all. It's like, it's just, I don't know how to put it, but like, that first dungeon in the Deku Tree, it's presented as this big Zelda exploration, and immediately just seemed the antithesis of that. It didn't feel fun to play. The controls were jaggy. The story, I don't want to say it sucks, but it's just not captivating me. And I don't think it holds a candle to Majora's Mask even, which came out a year and a half after it. And I think Majora's Mask, in terms of story and in terms of gameplay, even though it's the same engine, they like fix it up and they fine tune it. And I just think Majora's Mask is leagues better.
Can we stop the podcast?
No, I refuse. Oh no, I'm playing a video on my phone. I accidentally clicked on a notification which sent videos. Wild.
Wow, yeah, that's what I think. I think it's more of the time that, because I mean that first I recently played it and I was like, But I play it with those goggles though, right? I play it like, oh yeah, this is totally how it was. Oh yeah, definitely. It might be a little harder because a lot of games are easier now. So like it's like, oh yeah, this is totally how it was. And the game came out in 1998.
Well, yeah, it's 21 years old, and I'm under no impression that under no false illusion that in 21 years' time there'll be another podcast or another show or something where a 14-year-old in 2048 or whatever is going, bloody Breath of the Wild is an awful game. Oh, the controls are so janky and the story sucks. It's nothing like the new one that we got. And I'll be like, no, you're wrong because it's the best game ever made. And I know that will happen one day, and I know it's just going to be purely because of the time it exists and everything. But to me, I'm not sure if it even is just because of nostalgia and timing, because again, Majora's Mask came out a year and 18 months after it.
Yeah, it got developed pretty quick.
Majora's Mask so much.
Yeah, it got. But Majora's Mask, I think, is a game that's so unique too, also because of just kind of how it is, and I think it actually kind of. It's suitable for like what we have now, because a lot of games now take a really unique approach to a lot of video games. If you look at games like Hellblade and games like Celeste, that kind of take just kind of a different approach to video games. Games like Wizard of Legend, my bad. Those kind of games just take a different approach, and that's what that game did. So maybe that's why you like that one better. And Ocarina of Time is just your typical hero goes to save the princess kind of thing. So
yeah,
maybe in that aspect, I see kind of why you say that, but you're complete garbage for that. So
I feel like the main thing well, speaking of horror games, I was gonna say Majora's Mask. I wouldn't call it a horror game, but there's some very creepy stuff in that game.
It's eerie,
like especially like that sun, not the sun, the moon with like the big face, and then it comes like crashing into the planet, and like because it's just this like 3-day loop of you going and trying to save all these people, and you're like at some points in that game you can just like you could literally for 3 days just follow this one person, spend your entire time just looking at their life and what they do, and then they just die. Everyone dies.
Yeah,
it's so brutal.
It's a definitely different take on the game. And I think, where is it at in the timeline? It's like he defeats Ganon. That's the timeline. It's if the hero's successful timeline, I think. But you don't even believe in you don't even care about the timeline. It's all over the place.
Yeah,
I think you expressed that to me
about the Zelda timeline.
Yeah, it is all over the place. It's like 3 different timelines.
It's definitely like Nintendo working backwards from a dumb fan theory. It's like trying to place like the chronological like. Where all the Mickey Mouse cartoons took place. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just shut up. It's
like Final Fantasy. It's like they don't correlate. They're just different. There's a concept and you roll with it.
Like James Bond or something. They're all like different things. Yeah. It's not like a code name that's passed around. It's just different versions in different worlds.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
Do you want to move on? So thank you. Sorry. Just quickly, some other ones I wanted to mention for my least favorite games.
Cool.
FIFA 20 is definitely up there.
Oh, I can't fight with you there.
Can't
fight with you there.
To the point where I've played FIFA since I was introduced to games in like 2009. Started with FIFA 10, and now I've made the jump over to PES 2020. And I am loving it so much.
Yes,
they've actually got Celtic Park in the game. Massive Celtic fan.
Yeah, they're terrible, but yeah, no, I completely understand.
No. In fairness to you, they've also got the Rangers ground Ibrox.
They do have
a Rangers fan.
Yeah, they do have the Scottish license.
Yeah. So the fact that they've got all that, it's absolutely insane. And then the one thing that's always held me back from getting PES is the fact that they don't have like the Premier League or La Liga or anything.
Yeah, that sucks.
I didn't know how easy it was to just put an options file on the PS4. I thought you could only do it on PC. You literally need a USB stick with like 4 megabytes on it. And you can just whack it straight in and do it. It's insane.
It's really easy. It's really easy to do it. And then, of course, I had to get PES just because Manchester United is fully licensed on there, even though they suck.
Yeah, they're not great at the moment.
No, they finally got like 2 away wins. Like, finally.
You're officially a mid-table team, though.
No, like legit though. Like, I mean, I can't even push away the banter. Like, it's just how it is. And at this point, it's just like, yep, we're a mid-table squad. Hopefully we should win at the weekend against Bournemouth, but We're gonna have to see. We'll see what team turns up. What team turns up?
Shall we move on to our world famous kind of mystery item segment? This mystery item segment, in the spirit of Halloween, we are going to be talking some of the creepiest stories we can find or remember. Curtis, do you have any you want to lead us in with, or should I go
first? Creepy stories. I'm just gonna have to let you take this one because I can't. I live a weird life. Like I don't have anything that's creepy like that happens, or anybody tell me anything because I'm such a scaredy cat about all of it. So I'm gonna have to let you do that.
So this is a story that my mate told me. Obviously, it's not true. Like, can I just clarify? Because people are gonna go in the comments and, oh, this is obviously not true. Like, this is what I'm talking about is like this is a made up story.
Yeah.
But so there was this woman who just moved into her new house for the first time. It was a house that wasn't too far from a maximum security prison. She's just moved in. It's her first day. She's unpacking all her boxes. It's about 8-9 o'clock at night, so it's gone dark.
Mm-hmm.
And so she thinks, okay, it's been a whole day of me unpacking boxes. I'll turn on my TV. She turns on the TV, and she's just watching an episode or something, and an emergency news broadcast comes on, and it's saying, a deranged lunatic murderer has just broken out of the maximum security prison and is on the loose. Just keep your eyes open. Keep looking. But do not interact with it. Do not look it in the eyes. Do not do anything. Okay?
Okay.
So, she's just sort of like really freaked out about this, but she's like, okay, I'll just sort of carry on with my life. Just like me, she has windows by her back door that go from the floor to the ceiling. So this story hits a nerve with me just because of the windows I have. She looks out and she sees a man with a knife standing in the snow. Perfectly matches the description on the news. And she starts freaking out. She picks up her phone. She calls the police. Rings 999. She says, or 911 if you're in America.
Yeah,
and she
right.
says, okay. The murderer on the news, he's in my back garden. Help me, what do I do? And the police officer says, we're sending our best men. Stay calm. He's got this weird thing. He's insane. Do not look him in the eye. If you look him in the eye, he will kill you immediately. So she goes, okay. Puts the phone down. She keeps on trying to watch TV, but she can't get the thought of the guy standing there out of her mind. So she looks at the window again, and she's like, I won't look him in the eye. I'll just look at his feet. It's fine if I just look down at the ground, see if he's still standing there. So she looks down, and she just stares at his feet. She notices something weird. It's a snowy day, but there's no footprints in the snow.
Oh, goodness.
And there's no footprints of where he's walking. His feet aren't buried in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
How could that be possible? Then she realizes it wouldn't have footprints if it was a reflection. She looks behind her, and he's standing right there.
Oh, God.
So that's the story of how that girl got murdered. that I was told right before I went and did a show.
Oh,
Can I just clarify?
God.
So that's one creepy story.
Yeah. I don't have any creepy stories. I don't have I can't even think of one like anything remotely creepy. The only creepy or like scary story I can tell you is like United hasn't won a Premier League title in 6 years. That scares the crap out of me.
That is terrifying.
Yeah. That's pretty terrifying. Like that's the only thing. But no, that's a pretty creepy story.
So do you want to hear another one that I'm currently browsing Reddit now trying to find one?
I do not want to hear one from Reddit because that's the one that's going to keep me up all night.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't want to read out a really spooky one. Like, I'm trying to find one in between.
I'm like getting... We can end the podcast now.
I want to try and find one more. I want to try and find... God, okay, right, let me try and browse.
I'm going to a Halloween party.
I'm just trying to fill the air.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
I've not been to a Halloween party.
Like, well,
I went when I was a little kid.
Well, not everybody's a Nerd. No.
Hey, shut up.
No,
Cool.
Of course you are, dude. Don't let anybody ever tell you you're not.
Oh, no, that just sounds like undermining. Do you want to hear a ghost story I've just found called Bad Restaurant?
Not really.
Right. I feel like this is just, they've confused r/ghost stories with Trivago, but let's just see what happens.
Trivago, I'm dead.
Do you not know what Trivago is?
I do know what Trivago. That's ain't that like a flight?
It's like a review site.
Yeah,
no, it's like a review. Like, yeah, it's like what's the other one? Doesn't matter. So this is called Bad Restaurant. Do you ever go into a place and get that eerie feeling?
No.
Hairs stand up on the back of your neck. You get a feeling. An unusual feeling. Something is wrong. When I go into a local diner, it's been there over 10 years and closed twice and reopened by the same franchise. But the feeling is everything is closing in around you. I feel depressed. There is nothing comfortable about the place, so I left. Something happened there, I'm certain, but I don't know what yet. Do you ever feel like that? What an awful story. That's just saying I feel sad.
Is that the story done?
That's the whole story.
He sounded like Edgar Allan Poe, but there wasn't no like dark eerie part about it. He just sounded like he was sad.
Yeah, or there wasn't even an ending. Like,
he was just like, I went in a restaurant, I felt sad. Well, you need to get out of freaking McDonald's then, dude. Like,
that literally was a Trivago review. That was just saying this restaurant's a bit bad.
This restaurant's bad. It definitely wasn't Chick-fil-A, because that's God's chicken.
Or KFC's better.
I don't like Chick-fil-A, so I'm not even gonna like. I'm just gonna let the comments attack you for that. Get him.
Have you ever done like a Ouija board or anything?
No, I don't think you understand. I don't do none of that.
I did a Ouija board once, and it was.
Of course you did.
It was far and away one of the most strange experiences of my life, because I did it with a group of friends, and we went into it saying like, okay, I know we joke around a lot, but I want to see if this is legit. Let's be 100% serious with this. Like, no joking around, no messing around. We all took an oath and a promise not to mess around with it and be 100% serious with the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we went in, and it was like we asked it if it had a happy life, and it said no. And we were like, we was lost there, because we were like, what do we say now? Like, it was, I just don't. It was one of the most eerie things, because there was this, and we didn't do it anywhere especially creepy. There was just this like feeling of something was wrong, like something else was there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't believe in ghosts or anything, but it sort of made me believe in ghosts, like genuinely.
Wow.
It's just, there was something so strange there.
Yeah. Nah, see, I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do none of that. I just keep on chugging, right?
Yeah, it was mental. The final scary story I'm gonna read out, and I'm gonna read this out because I want to take a few minutes just to try and understand what the writer was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
There was a girl who used to tell weird stories in elementary schools about her doll coming to life without batteries. I never believed her until 3 weeks later, where her mum picked her up from school. She had no eyes. Can we try and figure out what the writer is trying to say? What is that story meant to be?
She had no eyes?
The mum had no eyes. What's that got to do with a doll coming to life?
Was her mom the doll?
Maybe. That could be what it's trying to say, but in that case, no, that didn't happen. But hang on, do dolls famously not have eyes? What's that?
No.
I just don't understand what this was trying to say.
I think scary stories suck.
Thing is, I'm just reading the bad ones, actual scary ones. There's one here. It's called Creepy Abandoned Daycare, and like, I don't want to read it because just the idea of an abandoned daycare, that inherently scares me.
Yeah, that's just terrifying. There's an abandoned daycare in Dead Space.
Yeah, well, just something about like little kids laughing.
Yeah, that's scary.
It's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to.
Well, because I wanted to do a couple more, but these aren't good.
We're about to hit that 200 mark, that 2 hour mark. So, yeah, I mean, I'm good. I'm good, man. Like I said, now I think you're, what is that, about 10 o'clock over there? I don't know if you're still like doing anything for Halloween.
No, we're not. Another creepy story that's just it's child predator at my school.
Yeah.
And I don't want to even go into that. But that's what the title of that one is. So make of that what you will.
Right. Okay. I'm going to I'm going to a little party at this little bar place. Of course, they serve soft drinks only. I'm gonna have a
yes, of course.
I'm gonna have a few soft drinks, and yeah I'll be all right. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm probably gonna go and I might buy myself a horror game and just tuck into it, or I might go and watch Lights Out or some other horror film. I'm not entirely sure yet.
Yeah. Hey, that one. Hey,
but I'll find something to do. I'll probably stay up quite late on my own, of course. I've got no friends. That's a lie. I have a lot of friends. Or I'll probably play more Luigi's Mansion. I don't know. Also, before we do the next episode, I'm going to try and play Death Stranding and Overwatch on Switch, because that's, of course, coming out soon.
Nice.
Is there anything that you're particularly excited about going in on before the next step?
Before when?
The next step.
The next episode. I'm going to get far enough or end up finishing the Outer World so I can do a review on it. I'm looking forward to going in on Pokemon, and we'll probably do the episode before that, right? Maybe.
When does Pokemon come out?
15th.
Oh, we'll probably do it after.
Yeah. Jedi Fallen Order comes out during that time too. I don't think I'm gonna play it yet, but yeah, that game, the EA game, comes out.
I don't think I'm gonna go in.
Yeah, I feel you. And definitely The Witcher on PC. I'm gonna start playing that and probably have a review out on that, because I like reviewing older games too that I didn't get a chance to review because I didn't have a YouTube channel yet. I'm probably gonna review that in January when it dies down, when the games die down and we don't have as many releases.
Did you say on PC?
On PC, yeah.
Are you not going in on the Switch version?
No, me getting it on PC is kind of inspired by the Switch version, to be honest with you, because I wanted to play it on this. I do want to play it on the Switch, but I'm like, if I want to get the full experience, I'm gonna play it on PC and make it where it's absolutely beautiful, perfect.
Yeah.
But no, I'm happy it's on the Switch. I'm happy it's doing well on the Switch. I'm happy like the reviews came out really well.
And I'm happy people from that investors, the Switch Lite seems to be selling really well as well.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's wrap up this episode. So, if you want to find our social media, you can find me at the Niall Edwards on Twitter and at Niall_Edwards on Instagram. Yes, my other Instagram got hacked recently.
That was crazy.
Use that new one.
Yeah, you were sending me like stuff like, "Hey, you was like, do you want to make like $500 or something?" I was like, "This dude got hacked."
Yeah. I felt really bad because I sent to all my mates, and I'm worried that because at least one of them fell for the scam. I'm betting 100%.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I genuinely don't know how I got hacked, but it's so weird. What social media do you want to plug?
Yeah, Callie from the Dojo on Twitter. Callie from the Dojo. I have to say it again. Dope Dirty Coutinho on Instagram. 2 underscores between Dope and Dirty, and the Soul Dojo. Make sure you guys check out the Soul Dojo gaming channel on YouTube. We do a lot of great stuff. Make sure you guys check out Niall's Dr. Nintendo YouTube channel. He's doing awesome stuff. And yeah, that's been WiiTalk, man.
Yeah, what a great episode. I really enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed this spooky episode, and we'll see you in the afterlife. I'm dead. It's a joke.
See you guys later, all right? Peace.
See you in a bit.